Hello everyone, so I welcome you in this lecture series where we will try to finish renal physiology at earliest. Okay, so let's begin with renal physiology. I won't waste much of your time. Before we start, I want to tell you very important thing. If all the videos that we will cover today, you can get the notes as well as QBank from the link below. So now those who are exam going student who don't have that much time, you can simply what you have to do is just read, remember those notes and you are done for the day. Okay, those who are studying it for the first time, you can refer Guyton or Ganong for the similar text. So let's begin with renal physiology. The topic one is formation of urine. Now I won't go in much basics like what is the anatomy of kidney and all those parts. We will cover the required anatomy in the particular function. So let's see the formation of urine. So why in the body you have to have the process of formation of urine? So you know guys that you have to excrete out your nitrogenous waste. Okay, so now whenever you will give the blood to the kidney, okay, so now from the cardiac output a particular denominator of blood will go into kidney. So now when the blood will pass through the kidney, now the nephron will clear the plasma, okay, of some substances, the substances which are not required by body. Okay, it will clear them out and it will retain the other substance which are essential. So all in all, a complex procedure goes on, due to which you can release the unwanted thing and retain the wanted thing. So this is the basic definition of urine formation. Okay, so now you have to form urine. So these are the three processes which are involved in urine formation. First of all, as I told you that blood is coming into the kidney, so it will filter off. This is first process, glomerular filtration. Okay, now as well as whatever substance needs to be excreted out, it can be excreted out by tubular secretion. So this is the second process. And the last process, when body realize कि अरे इसको बाहर नहीं जाने देना है. Okay, so whenever it will try to reabsorb, so it will reabsorb via this third process, reabsorption. Okay, so all in all you get urine formation, which is labeled in the step 4, and this will be the 1 plus 2 minus 3. Okay, so this is the basic thing which I want to tell you. So now this is what it is written, that whatever substances to be excreted will be removed by glomerular filtration, renal tubular secretion, and will go into the urine. But those substances which the body needs can be retained by renal tubular absorption. We will see all those substances in the reabsorptive processes. Okay, so now in the formation of urine, what right now we are focusing on is this first process, glomerular filtration. So we will proceed in this chronology only, है ना, आप chronology समझिए. First we will see glomerular filtration, GFR and all those things. Then we will see reabsorption, कि which part of nephron absorbs whatever particular secretion. And then we will see renal tubular secretion, how we secrete the waste. And then at the last there will be some miscellaneous topic. Acid base balance has already been covered, so watch that there. So now let's proceed to the glomerular filtration. So what is glomerular filtration, guys? You know that basically this is what is happening. So plasma that traverses the glomerular capillaries is filtered by a highly permeable glomerular membrane. Okay, so now this glomerular membrane has certain properties. Basically, it has negative charge, so it will repel negative charge, so the proteins will not pass, as well as it will only allow a particular size molecules to pass. So those who are very macromolecules, they won't be passing through this. So identical, the plasma filtered, the ultrafiltrate will be identical to the plasma, but exception will be there will be no protein and no cells. Okay, and this is how we deal with the things, that normally the renal blood flow is 1.2 liter per minute. These are all variable values. Okay, in every book you will find some different values, but normally renal blood flow आया 1.2. out of that renal plasma flow आया 625 ml, and out of that GFR आया 125 ml per minute. So this is the final calculation of GFR of 125 ml per minute. Now I will just simply tell you, you know this very well, that if at this rate we will form urine, then the urine will be around 170 to 180 liter per day. So you know this basic fact. So now hence the process of reabsorption and all that are very important. So now let's proceed on GFR only. Okay, so GFR, how is GFR, means how is the mechanism of GFR? Okay, so to understand the mechanism of GFR, you need to understand a basic thing. So what the basic thing I want to tell you, this is your glomerular capillary, this is your Bowman's capsule. You have to filter off the things. Okay, so guys always remember कि जो भी हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर होगा, हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर विल ट्राई टू पुल द थिंग्स, मतलब ऐसे या तो अगर ऊपर होगा तो पुश करेगा, और अगर नीचे होगा तो पुल करेगा. ओके, बट नाउ व्हाट द थिंग्स हियर आर, बेसिकली यू हैव टू रिमेंबर 4 प्रेशर्स. What are those 4 pressures? Hydrostatic pressure of each glomerular capillary and Bowman's capsule. Hydrostatic, and you are done with hydrostatic, then you have to remember colloidal osmotic pressure, again of the glomerular capillary and of the Bowman's capsule. So now hydrostatic pressure of glomerular capillary will basically, favor your GFR, okay? But the proteins, they will not favor the GFR. So this glomerular colloid osmotic pressure will oppose the GFR, okay? At the same time, Bowman's capsule का जो hydrostatic pressure है, this will again oppose the GFR, okay? Now the fourth pressure should here be, colloidal osmotic pressure of Bowman's capsule. So osmotic colloid pressure is due to proteins. You very well know that in Bowman's capsule, I have told you there are no protein. Ultrafiltrate normally have no protein. If there are protein in your GFR, then it is an abnormality, guys, okay? So automatically this pressure becomes here 0. So always remember, hydrostatic pressure of glomerulus will favor, rest all will oppose, okay? So these are the values which are given in Guyton. So 60 mmHg will be the positive, whereas these two will be the negative pressure which are acting. So all in all, we will get an effective filtration pressure, okay? And this effective filtration pressure is 10 mmHg. Is that okay? Now once you get this 10 mmHg effective filtration pressure, you will calculate GFR by Kf into EFP. So what is this Kf? This is nothing but filtration coefficient of glomerular membrane. You need not to go into details of this. Just remember that I have already told you glomerular membrane as well as the filtration membrane has certain layers, podocytes and all this endothelial basement membrane. So it will give a value which is known as Kf, and its value is 12.5. So hence you multiply it by 12.5 with this 10, and what you get is your GFR 125 ml per minute. So I hope things are clear. These are just some mathematical expression. Just remember, only this will support, rest all will oppose. So now let's proceed to factors affecting GFR. Okay, so now there are various factors which will affect GFR, obviously. So now renal blood flow will decrease, renal plasma flow, whatever you say. Since there is age advancement, there will be decrease in cardiac output as well. So automatically GFR will decrease. Now hydrostatic pressure changes in glomerular capillary. Now we will see all these pressures individually. So hydrostatic pressure was, supporting GFR. So now if it increases, GFR increases. So this is what you study in your blood pressure regulation, that whenever there will be fall in blood pressure regulation, a fall in blood pressure, then GFR will decrease. When there will be rise, then it will increase. So this first thing is systemic blood pressure. Second, how you can affect these hydrostatic pressure in, glomerular capillary is by afferent and efferent arteriole constriction and relaxation, which I will tell you in just a minute, or in next video, in which we will see regulation of GFR. Then the third point can be hydrostatic pressure changes in Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule is, downward, which was opposing. So now what you have done is, in case of ureteral obstruction, जैसे suppose कर you have renal stone. So in this case, what will happen? Basically, this Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure will increase, है ना? So this will increase, so the GFR will fall because it was opposing GFR. And now next thing is plasma protein concentration. So now you already know the proteins will exert, colloidal osmotic pressure. And now if there is decrease in if there are decrease in protein, so it is hypoproteinemia, the colloid osmotic pressure will fall, and then the GFR will increase because COP was opposing GFR. And at the last, glomerular membrane state will play a very important role, because if it is ruptured or it's any abnormality is there, which we will see in pathology, there are many diseases which are maintaining the integrity of glomerular membrane. So if any abnormality occurs, then it can lead to protein loss, which is known as albuminuria. And then you will see various manifestation, nephritic, nephrotic, need not to go in that now. Okay, so this is all in all. Now let me tell you about afferent and efferent arteriole constriction. So guys, understand there are two things here. Okay, first of all, you have afferent arteriole and you have efferent arteriole. Okay, so now your first hormone or autocoid, norepinephrine. What this will do is, this will basically constrict your afferent arteriole. Okay, so this will constrict afferent arteriole, so you can understand by some logic that there will be increased resistance, blood flow will be, hampered, and then the GFR will decrease. So just apply the basic concepts, which is, constricting what? Epinephrine will again constrict your afferent arteriole, GFR will decrease. Now what is the story of this endothelin? Basically, there is another type of cell which are called as mesangial cells. What are mesangial cells? they basically surround your glomerular capillaries. Okay, so now whenever you will constrict mesangial cells, there will be constriction of glomerular capillaries, and automatically the GFR will decrease. So this is performed by endothelin. Okay, and now what is angiotensin 2 doing? Angiotensin 2, you can see this arrow. What does this mean? This basically mean it has a biphasic response, but we usually say it increases GFR. How? It will basically bring out the constriction of efferent arteriole. Okay guys, so you can again understand that if efferent arteriole is constricted, your GFR will definitely increase. But then why it is said biphasic? Basically after some time, due to GFR increment, there is also increment of colloidal osmotic pressure, and this will lead to fall in GFR. So not needed as such, just remember biphasic response right now. Okay, this will more be dealt in detail in pharmacology. Now what is the next factor? This is nitric oxide. So as I have told you that endothelin was related to mesangial cell, on the same note, nitric oxide will cause the dilation of your mesangial cell wala part. So this will lead to increase on GFR. What is the prostaglandin? Prostaglandin will again bring out relaxation, and this will again increase the GFR. So this is the table which is very important at your level. Now you can also segregate it in the terms of afferent and efferent arteriole, or you can just remember these hormones and their effect on GFR. So this is all in all the sum up of Guyton, that what it have told. We have already discussed that whenever these factors, we have the formula of GFR. Okay, this pi means colloidal osmotic pressure. So whenever their values will increase or decrease, you will have the effect on GFR, and I have already told you everything related to this in simplified manner as much as possible. So I hope this video was of very much help to you. Okay, so this is the very easiest question I can frame on this. You have to just let me know in the comment that endothelin will increase or decrease GFR. Okay guys, and if you wish to support, you can contribute here. It will help me in making more videos of upcoming years also, because all this requires quite of typing effort. So thank you, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep learning and keep supporting.